Hi guys, welcome to Valor Reacts. My name is Connor, and today we're going to be breaking down the fight between Achilles and Hector from the movie Troy. I'm a science fiction, political, and philosophy nerd, a Marine Corps and law enforcement veteran, and Valor is a channel filled with veterans and first responders creating better content to make better men to serve our republic. Why not start this series with one of the greatest duels in all of history between one of the most famous warriors to ever live, Achilles, and the great hero of Troy, Hector?
I've seen this moment in my dreams. I'll make a pact with you. With the gods as our witnesses. Let us pledge that the winner will allow the loser all the proper funeral rituals.
There are no pacts between lions and men. Now you know who you're fighting.
I thought it was you I was fighting yesterday. And I wish it had been you. But I gave the dead boy the honor he deserved.
You gave him the honor of your sword. You won't have eyes tonight. You won't have ears or a tongue. You will wander the underworld blind, deaf, and dumb, and all the dead will know. This is Hector, the fool who thought he killed Achilles.
In my very limited understanding of Achilles, he is the preeminent warrior of his time. In legend, he is offered a choice, that of a long but obscure life, or a short life but glorious and legendary death. Achilles chooses the life of a warrior, trying to achieve immortality through the legends of his deeds. Achilles' shield depicts scenes of war, but also scenes of peace and personal life, showing what he is sacrificing in the pursuit of glory. In myth, Achilles' father is Peleus, the king of Thessaly, and his mother is a sea goddess. She dipped him in the river Styx, the barrier between the mortal world and the afterlife, giving him invulnerability everywhere but his ankle. Funnily enough, in this movie adaptation, Achilles denies this legend, saying if he was invulnerable, he wouldn't bother with the shield. For setup, Agamemnon is a Greek king and leader of Argos. He is hell-bent on ruling as much of the world as possible. His brother Menelaus is king of Sparta, who is married to a beauty, Helen of Troy. Born in Sparta, Helen was such a beauty that she was abducted by the prince of Troy, Paris, beginning the Trojan War. Troy was a rich Hittite city in what is now modern Turkey. 1,000 Greek ships, which at the time carried around 50 men, were launched to conquer Troy and recover the Spartan queen. This led to the quote about Helen, the face that launched 1,000 ships, and by inference, 50,000 men. Achilles is shown as brash and unwieldy, at times fighting for the Greeks valiantly and even desecrating a temple of Poseidon. He also defies Agamemnon, knowing that his legend will surpass that of the great king. For this defiance, though, he suffers a horrible twist of fate. His beloved cousin Patroclus takes to the field in his armor, pretending to be the great Achilles. Patroclus is cut down by the Prince Hector of Troy, prompting this duel. In the Iliad, Hector foresaw his death and asks for proper burial rites, which leads to a direct quote from the Iliad. There are no pacts between lions and men. If Achilles is representative of the sacrifice of a normal life in order to pursue greatness as a warrior and personal legend, then Hector is the noble, doomed warrior. Hector foresees his death, the fall of Troy, the death of his son, and the enslavement of his wife. But rather than flee, he knows it's his duty to die defending his city, his people, and those he loves. Regardless of outcome, Hector holds fast to his virtue to die with honor. In the epic poem, duels are often over only after a few moves, but the creators in the movie wanted to express the greatness of these warriors and their mindset through choreography. While the spear slashes and stabs are not historically accurate, they speak to the character of the men. Achilles is lithe and graceful, dancing around Hector to attack from varied directions. He is supremely confident in his abilities, and at times seems to be toying with the prince. The choreographers stated that while the strike slashes and blocks may be ahistorical, what they tried to communicate was that every strike and blow was intentional. Both these warriors are masters of the spear, shield, and sword, and so they thrust, slash, block, and bash each other with lethal intent. It is a contest, and Hector loses his spear only to return the favor. He turns smashing Achilles' spear into a withdrawal of his short sword and a throat slash, which Achilles narrowly dodges. Throughout the duel, both warriors are inches away from grievous injury or death, but it is Achilles who is perfectly composed and poised.
Prince of Troy. Get up. Won't let a stone take my glory.
As the duel progresses, they go blow for blow, with Achilles giving Hector an elbow to the face and Hector scoring a slash across Achilles' armor. In the movie adaptation, it appears that Achilles' armor is a combination of leather and bronze plate and a Corinthian-style helmet. The truth is, though, that this is a very stylized version of armor that would be more common in the 8th century BC, whereas the Trojan War is suspected to have happened much earlier in the 14th century BC. The armor at that time was much more cumbersome and tanky, if cool in its own regard, and the helmets were more likely to be leather and hog tusk rather than bronze. The truth is, though, that half of warfare is looking cool, and so I appreciate the modernized design. Achilles feigns to take a sword from Hector in order to lure him in to a thrusting distance, which brings us to the difference between blade thrusts and slashes. Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman has two wildly interesting books on combat psychology and physiology called On Killing and On Combat. While some have criticized his work, a historical theory he brought up was that he believes part of the domination of the Roman legions was because of their preference for thrusting weapons over slashing weapons. Thrusting from spears and short swords were substantially more likely to deliver an incapacitating blow, where a puncture to the stomach, chest, arm, or leg would more likely sever major blood vessels or vital organs. Whereas a slash, like from a saber, might injure an enemy but would deliver death in days instead of moments or minutes. Slashes have their place in combat, which is to injure the enemy to make it easier to kill, but thrusts are the killing blow. Achilles demonstrates this perfectly. When Hector charges him with a spearhead and a sword, he delivers a slash to his thighs, which slows him down. Hector, already winded from the prolonged duel, is desperate to land a killing blow. When he charges in again, Achilles disarms the spear thrust, turns it into a spinning counterattack, and punctures Hector's chest. It is never advisable to show your back to the enemy, or spin in front of him. However, Achilles is so supremely confident in his speed and ability to close the distance, he does so, grievously wounding Hector. He then delivers the killing blow, another straight thrust to the torso. Achilles dishonors Hector by dragging his body behind a chariot, a repulsive action that actually renders him a villain in the minds of the Greeks. Achilles may be the greatest warrior who ever lived, but in his pursuit of glory, he became consumed by the rages of war and dishonored himself. Hector, another great hero of his time, was killed, but died with honor defending his city, people, and family. And so this duel begs the question, who are you? Are you the man who would rather live without fame, but live long and in peace? Are you the warrior who pursues greatness, but gives up your honor in your bloodlust? Or are you the noble warrior, ready and willing to die for what you love? Which is why the story of the Iliad has lasted 3,500 years and why we still talk about it today. Now, if you like this content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, ring the bell, and turn notifications to all. Check out the other content on the channel. I appreciate you. Catch you in the next one. Godspeed and following seas.